Hail and malicious adventurers! In today's video I will help you decide whom to pick, fighter or paladin in Baldurs Gate 3. It's me, the Spud King, and we start with paladin. So, when you start your path as paladin, you can pick initially your subclass from the start of the game. There will be 3 different subclasses, and these subclasses will be called oaths. And when you're picking your subclass, it's very important, not only because it will give you different skills, different abilities and other stuff, but it will decide how you should actually play your game. So, for example, if you pick Oaths of Devotion, you need to act with honor and virtue to protect the weak and pursue the greater good. And if you want to protect the weak when you play in this game, you will become Oath Breaker. And it's completely different subclass for Paladin. Paladin is very strong frontline class with wisdom saving throws and charisma saving throw proficiencies. He can wear any kind of armor from light to heavy. He can wear a shield and use simple weapons or martial weapon if they choose to. Additionally, Paladin will have channel oath charges, so this will give you ability to channel the power that contained in your oath that can fuel additional actions. So these actions will be different from your subclass. So for example, Oath of Ancients will give you Healing Radiant, and this will heal your nearby allies in a radius of 3 meters. But don't look that it will heal only 1 HP. It depends on your charisma attribute. So for example, if we got charisma 0, then it will heal only 1, but if we go for max charisma, then Oath of Ancients can heal 3 HP to every party member nearby with just bonus action, while Oath of Devotion got more attacking stuff. It will be Holy Rebook, and it gives defensive aura that will inflict 1d4 radiant damage to every attacker that tries to attack target. And when these classes level up, they will advance and gain more actions for subclass. But some actions will be similar to all paladins. When you're creating paladin, what is main attributes? Of course, it's strength, to inflict more damage in melee combat, because Paladin is, after all, just melee class. So we can go full into strength. And then you need to decide, do you want to be full charismatic Paladin that gain access to a lot of spells and cast a lot of spells? Then you can go into full charisma. If you're not planning to use a lot of spells, it can be like controversial statement, I guess, that you don't need actually a lot of charisma when you're playing Paladin. Just, 10, 12 will be enough. But to actually have more fun in the game, I recommend to stick with like 14, 15, 16, it will be enough too. So you don't need to go all in, but have some charisma is nice. Then just decide what you need more armor, then go for dex, more constitution, it means more health, go for constitution. So I prefer more armor class because most of time you can wear a shield, and this will gain even more armor, so we can go with 15 in dex. We can have like a little bit con, and just other stats will go into int and wisdom. So we will be something like this. And just before we take a look how Paladin actually plays, let's take a look on fighter creation. So you picked a fighter. With fighter you don't have subclass option initially, but you will unlock it later when you level up. I will cover it in a minute. First of all, when you're creating fighter, you need to pick your fighting style. And there's a lot of different styles. For example, archery will give you bonus to ranged weapon attacks. And this means you will likely hit more attack when you use ranged weapon. And while fighter mostly considered like frontline guy with a lot of power, with large sword, this big sword, still fighters can be very nice archers too. You can pick defense class, which will add 1 more armor class when you wearing armor, and when you playing fighter, you will wear armor most of the time. Dueling to have more damage when you just use only 1 weapon in one hand. Great weapon fighting if you want to use large two-handed weapon like this. Protection to protect your allies. And 2-weapon fighting, of course, if you want to play with 2 weapons. For basic rules, when you're making attack with offhand weapon, you're not adding your ability modifier to the damage. But with this, fighting style, you will add this modifier and gain more damage with secondary weapon attack. Fighters got Strength and Constitution saving throw proficiency, with again wearing every armor you can think of, shield proficiency, simple and martial weapon proficiency. That's why I'm comparing him with the Paladin. But instead of helping your party with supportive spells, Fighter is self-sufficient. So he got action Second Wind on first level, and this will heal Fighter with 1d10 plus 1. It will scale later in the game and gain more healing. And this uses bonus actions. This means you can use it after you hit someone, and that's insane. So let's go to ability distribution of fighters. And again, Strength is main attribute. This will make you inflict more damage. That's why we go all in on Strength. Then we go to the Dex for a little bit more armor class, Constitution for more HP, and then you can decide. You can actually, when you're making Fighter, you can just go all in on Strength Dex Con and make like not intelligent, dumb, uncharismatic Fighter. Just whatever you like. Or you can make something more like flexible, just lower Dex a little bit, maybe a lower Con a little bit, have some Int, have some Wisdom, have some Charisma, and maybe, just maybe, you will be picking your subclass as Eldritch Knight. More on this in a minute. And Eldritch Knight is basically like Knight, but with magic spells. That's when you want to have some intelligence to cast his spells. So you can go with something like this. There's some other ways when you can get a lot of intelligence in other ways, but I won't cover them in this video because I think you need to just enjoy the game and play and not go for the most brutal and broken items. So let's go and check out our Fighter. So let's look at our Fighter in first fights and early levels. And sorry, Getyanki, we don't need your help. Oh my. Alright, so as Fighter you will get some abilities that your weapons will provide. So for example, if you're using short bow from the first levels, you will get it. You will get this bonus stuff like hamstring shot from your proficiency. If you're proficient with this weapon, you will have it. So for example, hamstring shot is ranged attack that will shoot enemy in tie and possibly reduce their movement speed by 50% for 2 turns. Nice, interesting stuff, and you can start your fights basically with this on level 1, and you just use it, and fight starts with enemy dead or being slowed down for future turns. But don't forget to go and hide, because enemies will go and try to find what's going on. And you can basically make just a range attack on enemies that is unconscious. Or you can still be in stealth mode. So if fight starts, then you just go into the fight and you can use your again range attacks. Because you're a fighter, you can use your bow, or you can dash and use your melee attacks too. Depending on your weapon, you will have again different stuff. So for example, for just short sword, you will have this flourish bonus action, you will have some piercing strike. So let's use our piercing strike, and our enemy is done. Awesome stuff. That's how your early game fights will look like, and if a fight is hard, you can use your second wind as bonus action to heal yourself for almost full HP, because 1d10 plus 1 is 11 max, and you got 12 HP. That's why Fighters is very good on level 1. But how Paladin can take this fight? So Paladin. Again, it's melee class, so we want to be in the front lane. So let's go and attack. That's basically how Paladin starts the fight. Hero Jenkins. Yeah. So you started the fight and just go in and fight. That's basically all you need to do. Don't forget to use your Divine Sense and other bonus actions if you're fighting versus fiends, celestials and undead. If you're not sure of who you're fighting, you just can right-click your enemy, press examine, and you see this, it's fiend. Yeah, so basically this imp is fiend, so we now got 95% of hitting this imp. But we will get advantage on attack rolls. This means we will roll 2 dice and we use higher value, so this will even increase our chance to hit him. So we go use this our bonus action, and now we got 100% of hitting this imp. So now we can use our actions from our weapon. We got this blunt weapon, this hammer, so we can use concussive smash. Just like that. Awesome. Sad story is that you can use it only one time per short rest, so you got only 2 attempts to hit them. And this will increase critical strike chance against this type of enemies. Because when you roll into dice, it's basically like double chance of hitting 20, which is critical strike. That's why we critical striked first attack, and now we're not critical striking, but it's okay. And then don't forget to use your oaths, but again, you can use it only once per short rest, so Holy Rebook. We need to target someone, but sadly, we don't have Kityanki right now with us. We can use our Lay on Hands charges, which is 3 right now on first level, so we can basically use as greater healing to heal all nearby enemies. We can heal less or just lay a cure some diseases. So Paladin is basically a really nice supportive class, but with a giant sledge hammer. Yeah, just like this. And when fight ends, don't forget to press short rest, and you got all your abilities back to you. But Lay on Hands requires long rest, so you got like 3 charges per day. Now we saw how Paladin and Fighter plays on early levels, but you will level up pretty fast, so how they look in the early game. That will take you about like 20 hours of game at minimum. So let's go. Level 2 Paladin. So just when you hit level 2 on Paladin, you will unlock a lot of abilities and spells, and you will basically unlock spell slots. That is mechanic that I will tell you in just a moment. All Paladins will get Divine Smite weapon damage. So this is basically a spell, level 1 spell, that will inflict 2d8 radiant damage and additional 1d8 radiant damage to fiends and undead. Just insane ability with insane potential. And now, as Paladin, you will pick your fighting style. So again, pick whatever you like, but Paladin got lesser fighting styles, less than Fighter. So we can go with dueling if you want to use one weapon and attack with more damage with this weapon. You can go with defense for more armor class if your party need it, or great weapon fighting if you want to use large big sword. But Paladin uses prepared spell mechanic, so this means that among all spells that you know, you can use only 4 of them in one fight. So just pick smartly. So for example, you can have like Paladins that hit a lot more with Bless, for example. This is concentration spell. Keep in mind, if you're using concentration spells, that means you need to concentrate on them, and when you get damaged, you need to succeed on Constitution saving throw. Otherwise, you will lose your concentration and lose effects of the spell. So you can use just Cure Wounds. Again, nice spell for some healing, and some different smites if you want. There's a lot of spells that Paladin got, some defensive, some offensive. I will cover all spells in my complete Paladin guide that will come up on the game release. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. But for now, let's go. So what is prepared spell? You can just go into your inventory, you can use spellbook, and there's prepare spell mechanic. So you know all spells, you basically unlocked them, but you can use only 4 of them in one fight. So you just need to prepare them prior to fight, or otherwise you can't use other spells. So for example, if you want to use Shield of Fate, just go and prepare it. And you can change it before or after the fight. Oh, this poor guy, we need to heal him. Okay. Good luck, bro. Oh my god, he ran away. That's what happened when you heal some crazy dudes. Okay, so we just used our spell, and as you can see, we got 2 spell slots, and we just lost 1. You see this gray square. So this means when you use spells like Bless, for example, let me use this Bless spell, we use our spell slots. And when you use spell slots, you won't be able to use any spells after. So we can use Divine Sense, we can use Bless. Now we got like 1,000,000% chance to hit this imp with a lot of damage. as you can see, but we get another problem that we don't have spells for our next fights. And to be able to cast more spells, you need to have long rest. So long rest requires a lot of supplies. That's why you need to be smart when you're using your spells, because one of your main spells is Divine Smite actually. That will inflict from 8 to 29 damage on level 1. And that's just insane with basic melee weapon. And when you level up to level 3, you will get one more spell slot from level 1, you will get additional class features, that is Divine Health for Paladins, which just protects you from diseases, and additional subclass features. So for example, for Oath of Devotion it will be Sacred Weapon, and it will use Charisma modifier to attack rolls of this weapon. So basically, chances of hitting 20 with Paladin with high charisma is actually insane. And you will get one more prepared spell, so now you can have 5 spells in advance to the fight. On level 4! One more spell slot, so now you can have 6 spells. And you can have additional feats. There are many feats that you can pick, but it will depend on your playstyle and on your build. And on level 5 you will unlock spell slots level 2. This will unlock level 2 spells. And Paladin will get 5 spells, mostly restorative spells like Lesser Restoration and 8, but magic weapon that will give you bonus to attack and damage roll, or Branding Smite to help you fight versus invisible opponents. Now you will have 8 prepared spells, so Paladin is really spell heavy class. So let's go and see how late game Paladin can play out. And we enter the battle. We just go and crush enemies, and we got now 2 attacks on level 5 as fighters and other fighting classes. So you can just go and crush your enemies. And if you see some strong enemies like these, that you got only 45% chance to hit him, you can use all your magic to do a lot more. So he is a fiend, so we start with Divine Senses as our bonus action, gain 2 turns ability to hit him with a high chance. And instantly we got 70% chance to hit him. And we will use our Channel of Oath charge, that we can use once per short rest, to cast our Sacred Weapon for 2 turns on our weapon. And now it's already 84% chance to hit him. And don't forget, Sacred Weapon not using concentration. This means you can cast Bless prior to fight and have a lot more chances to do this stuff. So now it's 91% chance to hit him. And we basically finish this dude with our Divine Smite. Divine Smite uses spell slot, and that means you can upcast it. So we use Divine Smite that will do from 8 to 29 damage to this dude. But if we upcast and use our level 2 spell slot, it will go for 1d8 bonus, so it goes from 9 to 37 damage. Let's just try this out. And as you can see, there's a lot of damage going on to this poor dude. And don't forget, it casts like attack, so you can make another attack, and just in one turn you can cast it 2 times. Awesome stuff. Sadly we missed second attack, but that's just how powerful Paladin is. He just go and cast this awesome Divine Smites and crush his enemies. And when something goes not according to the plan, you can use Laying Hands to just heal yourself for almost full HP, just like that. Goodbye, bro. So that's middle level Paladin, but how Fighter looks like on these levels? Let's go and check it out. So Fighter, let's go. When Fighter level up to level 2, you got nothing but Action Search. So Action Search is basically giving you 1 more turn in a fight. You gain in 1 more extra action. That's it, basically. Fighter is just easy and straightforward. And this will be available for you once per short rest. This means when you go into fight, you can use this stuff to gain 1 more action, and basically from level 2, Fighter can do 1 attack, then use Action Search and make second attack. Just like that. Easy, straightforward, but very powerful. When we go to level 3, you can pick your subclass, and there will be 3 subclasses: Battle Master, Eldritch Knight and Champion. Battle Master considered as the most powerful fighting class, while Eldritch Knight is nice class if you want to cast spells. So Eldritch Knight will instantly from level 3 unlock you spell slots, 2 cantrips, so you can pick from large variety of cantrips, mostly like cantrips from wizard or sorcerer, just magic cantrips. So you can have 2 cantrips, you can have 2 spells, but there are a lot less spells than wizard or sorcerer gets, of course. But mostly this is like melee spells, so for example Witch Bolt. But for this example, let's keep Eldritch Knight at the bay and pick Battle Master. For Battle Master you will unlock different maneuvers. So what's they doing actually? Maneuvers giving you additional superiority dice that you can use. So for example, you want to push enemy away from you. You don't need to use push action, shoving action basically. You can use this pushing attack. And this will give you ability to roll additional dice to inflict additional 1d8 damage and possibly push your target back 4.5 meters. This is just insane, and you can use it from melee weapons or range weapons. That's just insane. You can have more HP with Rally, you can frighten your enemies with additional 1d8 damage, you can make your enemies prone, or you can disarm them. So let's just pick like pushing, trip and disarming attacks, and let's go to our level 4, which will unlock basically new feat. You see, fighter leveling is just too easy and straightforward. And on level 5 again you get extra attack, so fighter is just straightforward. When you pick in Eldritch Knight you will gain more spells, more spell slots, etc, etc. But for simple Battle Master we will just become stronger and stronger and stronger. Sadly we can't heal this dude, so sorry bro. So what is superiority dice? This is like 4 dices you will get, and you can use them 4 times per short rest. So you can just go and, for example, you want to disarm your enemy. You just go for disarming attack. So let's go and disarm this little gnome or whoever it is. So disarming, strike, nice. Oh no, where is she? And coolest part that you can use it multiple times. For example, you can use your pushing attack. So just push this dude away from you. Then you can just go and use, for example, trip attacks that will prone your enemy and use it from range. And he just fall prone. And we just won this fight. But if we wouldn't want this fight, we could use action surge to make one more attack. And this is the most insane part of the fighter. He just doing a lot of attacks each combat, and you just can't stop him, because whenever fighter got no actions, just go and use action surge and attack your enemies. Oh my god. Let's go into the big combat, of course. So we can start fight with just normal attack. Sadly we missed, so we can just go and try one more attack. Okay, nice. This is almost enough, but this guy survived, so we can use our action surge. And maybe get rid of our annoying enemies with our pushing attack. Yeah. And one more attack. Just like that, fighter doing 4 attacks in one single fight. And we can use Flourish on this dude. So he is off balance right now and possibly will miss. No, he won't. Still, we just use our attack. We go forward. Skip the turn. And now, for example, we want to use our awesome disarming attack with our superiority die. Let's do it. So his weapon just dropped. We can try to prone him right now. Sadly we missed, but it's totally okay. But funniest part is that when enemy drops his weapon, we just can go and pick it up. So we just got this awesome blade from disarming this dude, but we need additional action to equip it. Let's equip this Everburn blade, and just like that we become commander of everyone here. That's just so funny. And if something not right, we can just go and use second find to heal ourselves as fighter. Very self-sufficient, insanely powerful class. And while looking really simple, there's a lot of builds you can use on fighter. So again, I recommend you to go and subscribe so you won't miss any of those. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the Spudlands. Bye, friends.